Good morning. Good morning, my friends. Here we are, Monday morning, silver sneakers. Just gonna start with a little jog, get warmed up. Hopefully everyone had a really nice Easter. And it was probably a different kind of Easter than we're used to. Let's do a little twist just to warm our backs up. I was really lucky. My mom dropped off a full Easter breakfast for us. So we had quiche, cinnamon rolls, pretty good, potatoes, some nice big arm circles, just warming up our shoulders here. And the other direction. And we'll go back to our marching. How's everyone holding up? I know we probably all really miss being in this room together, but I'm super excited that we can be here together in this way at least. So we're making the best of it. Go ahead and let's take our heel up towards our glutes, warming up our hamstrings here. If you want, you can throw a little punch. Just trying to get warmed up here. What's with this weather? Gosh. Saturday it was like beautiful, perfect spring, and now not so much. And march. And our low impact jumping jack here. You're welcome to do regular jumping jacks if you'd rather. And back to our marching. Getting our arms pumping here. When our whole body is nice and warm. Remember, you might want to have some props, some weights if you have them, something to use as weights, maybe your bands, a ball to reach to the edges here. You also might want to be playing your own music since we're here in the room with deafening silence. I miss the music, so hopefully you have yours going. And march. Then we're going to take our feet about hip distance apart. You're going to sit your butt back, stand all the way up, press your hips forward. Keeping your chest proud. You want to make sure you're not letting your knees come out over your toes, only coming down as far as you feel comfortable. You can also be standing behind the chair, holding it for balance. Totally fine. March. Go ahead and march on over to your, good morning. Looking at the comments. Comment that you're here if you're here, because I think we're giving credit for check-ins, which is cool. So make sure you check in that you're working out, even if you do the workout later. Go ahead and come on over to your chair. You can grab a little sip of water and then your ball. Remember, you can also use good old-fashioned toilet paper, squeezing works just as well. And like I said, this is kind of the benchmark. You know I'm doing okay if I still have this and I'm able to use it as a prop instead of, you know, use it. Let's start squeezing here. Just pressing our palms together, engaging our whole hand. Our chest is working here. Keeping everything nice and strong, just squeezing in. Abs are also engaged. And getting our upper half warmed up here. Good, then have a seat. We're gonna place it right between our knees, and then we're gonna squeeze there. Don't be afraid of popping it, totally fine. Squeeze and give it a little hold before you release. I actually brought a little piece of Silver Sneakers memorabilia, a little show and tell. Are you guys ready to see it? Do you want to see it now, or should we wait? It's one of my favorite things I've gotten. Keep squeezing with the knees. This is a quilt, little blanket that Kathy made me. And just so you can see, it says, engage those abs. I love it. I will cherish it forever. Keep it here for now for a little inspiration. Now we have our squats. So, you know, engage those abs. Stand up, sit down. You can either tap the chair or you can sit all the way down and stand all the way up. Totally fine. If those aren't working for you yet, no big deal. You just tip forward, lift your butt, sit back down. So whichever one's working for you today. If you want a little more, you could do a little double tap at the bottom. Making sure that you're keeping your weight in your heels. So at the bottom, you can kind of wiggle your toes. Good way to check to make sure that you're not letting your weight come too far forward. We want to really make sure we're keeping ourselves safe. First priority. Good. And then back to squeezing between the hands. Engage the abs. Very nice. Squeezing in. Chest is working. Hands, arms, you're feeling it all. Good, then back between the knees. Right here, squeezing in. Give it a little pause. Very nice. And then we get to do our squats again. Go ahead and sit down and stand up, or just tap the chair, or just sit up a few inches and then sit back down. Totally up to you. You are the boss. You have to remember your first job is to take care of your body. Wherever that is today, that's where we're starting from. Very nice. Almost there. And rest. Then we're going to squeeze here. We have one more round. My mom's here. Mom, did you hear me talk about how good your Easter breakfast was? Really, really good. Really, really good. Then we FaceTimed or Zoomed, house party, all those apps I never knew before. Pretty cool, because we can really talk to everyone at the same time, which is nice. It's kind of interesting the way we have to kind of find creative ways to stay connected. Have a seat, squeezing between the knees now, right here. I guess this is a good time to really be thankful for all the technology we have that can keep us doing this kind of thing and just talking to our families in general. Do one more time with our squats, and then we are done with this section. And off we go. Sitting all the way down and standing up, or tapping, or the double tap. You know your options. Do one more, and rest. Go ahead and take the ball, put it away, grab your band, and grab a sip of water. We're going to start with our band here, and we've got one wrist we're gonna have the handle around, and then we're gonna hold the other one out straight. We've got our bow and arrow right here, pulling straight back. So everything's in a nice straight line. Holding a little pause here at the end. Squeezing your back here. Nice job. And switch. Pulling across, give it a little pause. Trying to see if I can read the comments. Kind of hard. My eyes are not what they used to be, strangely enough. And rest. Then go ahead and take your band. You're gonna have both hands in it now, and give yourself about shoulder width distance. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna come from the side here. We're lifting up to shoulder height as we're stepping 1 foot at a time back, and then back together. Right here. So keeping your hip distance for stability, stepping back and together, and then the other side. You can do just a little step back, or you could come to a full lunge. Either one, totally fine. You pick. Whatever's working for you today. Trying to keep your chest proud, and just a little pull in the front, nothing dramatic. And rest. Then we're going to come here. We've got our bicep curls. So roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Keep your chest nice and proud, and then pull straight up. You can do 1 foot if you want it to be a little easier. You can use soup cans if you don't have a band. Use weights as well. Now just for fun, let's do a few where we're just coming halfway up and pausing. Right there. Good. And then keep your arms at 90 degrees here. And we're just going to open and close, just really gently. It's a few times. Working that external rotation for our shoulders. And rest. Then we go right back to our bow and arrow. 2 more rounds just like this, holding this arm out nice and straight. Isometric hold for that arm. Pulling back and squeezing your back muscles. So you really want to get a hold back there. Little pause. And switch. Hold that arm out. Pull straight across. Same thing here. Very nice. Pulling straight across. And rest. Then both hands go through, giving ourselves about shoulder width, and we're going to step back into our lunge and come back up. Alternating legs. You decide how deep you want your lunge to be. Totally up to you. Whatever works is fine. Working on our coordination and of course our balance. Keeping those abs engaged. Very nice. Almost there. And biceps. One or both feet. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Nice proud chest. Then pull right up the front. All the way up. All the way down. Full range of motion. Really slow and controlled. So we're working in both directions here. And then halfway up, little pause. Halfway up, little pause. Couple more just like that. Then a little pulse. Then you remember that external rotation, right? Right here, just working those shoulders, modifying however you need to, and rest. We have one more round. Get ready. Your arms out, pulling straight across. Getting a little squeeze there in the back. Couple more. And the other side. Last time with these, right here, pulling across. Squeezing at the back, giving it a little pause. Nice work. Rest. Biceps. Oh no, sorry. Lunge, lunge, reverse lunge. Alternating feet with the front raise, a tiny little pull. Basically just putting a little bit of tension on the band. And go. Alternating with a pause. Watch that my front knee does not come out over the front toe. Just as far down as you're comfortable. If you're feeling like a big challenge today, take it. If something feels kind of sore, we're gonna just baby it. No big deal. We just adapt. To do a lot of adapting these days. One more, and rest. Now we have our biceps. Get ready. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and then pull straight up the front. Really giving it a little pause at the top, slow and controlled down, all the way up, all the way down. Good. Let's go halfway, little pause. Just holding it there. Squeezing. Very nice. And then a little pause. Just right here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then open and close, keeping your arms at 90. Chest proud, almost there. And rest. Very nice work. Go ahead and attach your band to your chair. I'll have to move my beautiful blanket. Don't forget, very important, engage those abs always. And then attach your band, folding it in half, feed it through. If you're not using a band and you're using something else, modify however you need to. We're gonna go ahead and grab our, but remember that you may not have weights and you don't need to have them. If you're looking for something heavy, we've got this. One of my friends actually made her own deadlift bar with 2 of these on a PVC pipe. It looked like some duct tape was involved. I was pretty impressed. So, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. Well, who's this?
Hi,
Look at this lady.
Love you all.
Say hi,
Good to see
Cindy.
you. I'm just stealing some equipment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you.
Isn't it crazy how nice it is to see a familiar face? Like you see someone driving and you're like, oh my God, I know them. But I'd like to see our coworkers when we don't get to go to work anymore. Pretty awesome. So we're gonna start here. We've got a 1-armed row to tricep kick back. So remember your options. You can kneel here, just like that, or you can stay seated, lean forward, and you're here. So whatever's working for you today, totally fine. Just making it work for you. Pulling up, kicking back. Pulling the belly button in. You can use your soup can here. Anything that's heavy. Come on up, some big shoulder rolls. I'd love if you left in the comments any kind of equipment that you're using, something that you're substituting a weight for. I'm always interested to hear those now. And then other side, pulling up, kicking back. Very nice, keeping your belly button pulled in so your abs are engaged here. It's a good way to just keep them working, even though we're actually working on our back and triceps, we're still getting a little abs, so pretty ideal. And rest. Then we're gonna take these weights, actually a light one, maybe a soup can. You can go heavier if you want. What we're pretending is we're picking this up off the ground and putting it away on a shelf, just like that. Coming up onto our tiptoes, but you want to make sure you're really sitting your butt back and then coming up here. So you're nice and safe. You can always do this without a weight or with something lighter. Really focusing on keeping your abs engaged and your back nice and straight. And rest. Our next move, one weight at a time. And there's a heavy option and a light option, so I'll show you the difference. It's just a one-armed high pull. So if you're using a light weight, you're right here. If you want to use your legs, you're coming here. And I'll tell you when to switch weights. But if you want, you can use a heavier weight, but then you're going to let your legs kind of help you throw it up, like so. So you decide. You can also not use any weight at all and just go through the motion, only the upper body part or the lower. If your shoulders are bugging you, skip it. Right here. Kind of like we're starting a lawnmower, right? And if you look at me from the side, my back is straight. So I'm not leaning over, I'm keeping my shoulders back, and I'm right here. My legs are actually throwing that weight up. I'm not just lifting it. Tight core. It's a little extra if you want it, but you don't have to take it. And then the other side. You could also be using your milk jug here, just like so. Same thing, only to shoulder height. Almost there. And rest. And now we go back to our one-arm row to tricep kick back. So pulling straight up and then kicking back. Just like so. Come on up, some big shoulder rolls. We'll go to the other side. Get ready, go. Good job. Try to give it a little pause up there if you can. If it's way too heavy to pause, probably go lighter. One more, and rest. Then we've got our pick it up, put it away move. And let's take our feet out wide, toes are turned out, knees are tracking over toes. So you don't have to come down all the way to the ground. You can if you want, only if it feels okay, and then lift up. You can also just stop here, come to your tiptoes, if it doesn't feel good to lift up overhead. Totally up to you. You pick. It would be impossible for me to know what's going on in your body, right? You're not even here. I can't even see you. So you've got to really be responsible for what's best for you today. Almost there. And rest. Then we have our high pulls. So you're going to be here with the light weight if you're not doing the legs. You definitely want it light if you're not kind of using your legs to pop it up. Otherwise, you're here, feet are a little bit more narrow, popping right up. Nice flat back from the side, making sure you're keeping your abs engaged. And rest. Then the other side. Then we have one more round of these. You should be really feeling your heart kind of pounding here. Should be probably the hardest part of the workout. Maybe. One more, rest. Last round of these. Tricep kickbacks and one arm rows. Get ready, and go. Squeezing that tricep. Little pause right there. Really keeping your belly button pulled in. Let's do one more here. Come on up, some big shoulder rolls. Then we'll go to the other side. And let's go. Squeeze and hold, straighten. Good. You want to feel a little pinch on the back of the arm. And rest. And we're going to pretend like we're picking something up, putting it away on a shelf. Remember that you can just do the top part, or you can do the bottom part. Toes are turned out, coming down and up. Coming onto your tiptoes if it feels okay. Remember, you can always just leave the 8 here. It doesn't have to go overhead if it doesn't feel good. Almost there. Last one. Good job. Now we've got our high pull one more time. That's it. Lightweight, heavyweight, only doing the top, only doing the bottom. You pick. Get ready. Let's go. Really pulling up. It can be an explosive movement if that feels okay. Otherwise, nice and slow, but light enough you can hold it there. Very nice. Stay with me, just a couple more. Let's switch. Last one here. One more. Done. Go ahead and put that weight down. Have a seat. Grab a sip of water. Now we've got our seated band work. I might move up a little bit just to be a little closer to you. All right. So we're starting, of course, with our chest press. So one band in each hand, pressing out and together, squeezing in the middle. Just like that. Keeping your belly button pulled in. Very nice. So if you don't have a band, remember you could use a towel and just put some tension. You could also lay on the ground and use weights or soup cans, whatever you have. But you'd have to be laying down to get your chest unless you've got a way to press out and rest. Then we're going to take either one or both bands in one hand, supporting the elbow, because we just don't want to have tension here and it kind of, getting all willy-nilly for your rotator cuff. We want to hold it steady so we can isolate the back of the arms here. Squeezing, giving it a little pause. I would say that the back of the arm area is a pretty common body part that people kind of worry about. So this is a good one for that. Hold on here, pressing out. I know when I was teaching my daughter how to drive, you know the handle that you hold on to, the oh no kind of handle? I was holding that like, and it just so happened to line up perfectly with my rear view mirror. So it's a really perfect view of the back of my arm, kind of in a hanging position that I'm not super used to specifically looking at. So I was doing a lot of like this kind of stuff. My daughter's like, you know you're in a car that's made of glass. People are watching you play with your arm. Okay, good point. So anyway, our next one is for our abs. Crossing your arms, not your band, okay? So you're gonna hold on up here and then exhale down, squeezing at the bottom. Just really engaging those abs. Squeeze and hold. Really giving them a little pause. And then if you want, we can do a few where we're alternating sides. Just squeezing at the bottom. Very nice. It's really fun to kind of look at Facebook and Instagram and just see how people, their like 2020 spin on Easter. Pretty sweet, pretty cool. I'm really impressed by a lot of people and their creativity and just how well they're adapting. Even though it's a struggle, we're figuring it out together, and I love that. Pressing out, squeezing in the middle. So before I started doing this and you know, the live videos, I've looked at them afterwards. I did not realize the weird range of facial expressions I do when I'm working out. Not good. It's not necessarily good, but you guys keep showing up, so might not be that bad. And rest, and then we've got our triceps here, pressing out. I used to do a lot of races, triathlons, half marathons, kind of like Tough Mudder, Spartan kind of races. And they have photographers taking pictures of you, you know, like throughout the course. But you won't necessarily know if they are or not. You might not spot them. And then the other side, right here, pressing out and squeezing. So some of them have turned out a little unflattering, like that kind of a look, you know, like a mid-run. Of course, if you know they're coming, you're like smiling like it's easy, and then, you know, once you get past them, go back to walking and crying. Not really. Rest, and then we've got our our abs again. Crossing your arms, holding that band nice and tight, and then exhaling down, holding at the bottom, slow and controlled back up. Remember, you don't even have to use anything for this one. You could literally just go through the motions, squeeze at the bottom, and come back up. It's gonna work. It's gonna be better than nothing, that's for sure. I think that's something that we really kind of need to focus on during all this is, you know, perfection is not going to be a thing in life, really, probably ever. So, you know, if we have to adapt and just make the best, we should just get comfortable doing that, because that's kind of life. Like, things are not always perfect, and that's just part of it. So this is a good lesson for us to just do what we can when we can. Alternating sides. I know sometimes we can kind of get stuck in this kind of black and white mentality, where like if you don't have everything you need and you don't have like a new workout outfit or whatever it may be, like, oh, I'll wait and start then. No, just do what you can, when you can, as you can, and just adapt. Easy? No, not always easy, but definitely worth the effort. And rest. We have one more round of these. Pressing out and together. Right here. Squeezing in the center, really engaging that chest. We always want to make sure that we're working kind of evenly our pushing and pulling muscles. So all of our opposing muscle groups. Almost there. Leaning into it if you want a little bit more resistance. And rest. We've got our tricep extensions, pressing out here. And if you would like one of these bands and you don't have one, you can send me a direct message and I can help you kind of try to find where we might be able to locate one for you. Pretty sure you can get them on the Silver Sneakers website. I'm assuming Amazon and all of that. And switch. Because it is nice to have it if you can get it, or you do have it. Trying to remember, is this the third Silver Sneakers class I've done, or the fourth? Anyone else feel like they're just completely losing track of time? Maybe losing track of reality? A little bit, just a smidge. And rest. It's very strange to not have our normal routines. And at this point, it feels like it's been kind of a long time. I'm trying to think. I was talking to my daughter yesterday about how I think this is probably the first time I've had this amount of time off and home that I didn't give birth to a child first. So, and that's not really that restful. Good. She's been a really big help, helping me kind of get things done around the house. And it took us probably a good 2 weeks to do the majority of the big projects we wanted. And that's 2 weeks of us like pretty much working pretty hard every day. And it kind of got me to realize, no wonder I felt overwhelmed. No wonder I never got to all this stuff. I was doing it on top of a full-time job, and it was impossible. Who knew? Anyway, I'm really grateful to kind of get the little boost, the little head start, just getting a lot of things handled at home. And rest. One more round of these, pretty sure. Then we got a little abs. So pressing out here, or maybe this is the fourth round. Either way, it's gonna be fine. Pressing out. Almost there. Rest. And we've got our tricep extensions last time. Squeezing the back of that arm, holding it nice and steady. And the other side. Right here. Pressing out, giving it a nice squeeze. And rest. Shoulders. Crossing your arms. Exhaling down. Squeezing at the bottom, give it a little hold, and then come back up slow and controlled. Very nice. And some alternating. Squeezing the side waist here. Good. We have a little bit more time left to work. Our ball back. Grab it, or your roll of toilet paper, whatever you've got handy. Let's start with a pass under. So we're gonna be right here, and you're just gonna lift one leg and pass it under, keeping your abs engaged. If you would rather, you can stand up and do it, that's fine too. Just feeding it under. I'm gonna tell you to switch sides, so, or switch directions. So if you're passing it around the outside of your leg, you're gonna switch and pass it through the inside and the other direction. Keeping the abs engaged. And rest. And we've got a little halo. So really pull the belly button in. And we're getting some good mobility for our shoulders, but also we're kind of getting a little crunchier, right? And switch directions. And then we've got a little wood chop, so we're going to start down here, pull it up. You can get your legs involved, a little crouch, totally up to you. Really squeezing the abs. And then we're going to switch directions. Starting down here, coming up. Keeping that belly button pulled in, really working those abs. And rest. We're gonna do one more round of these. We have time for that. We're gonna pass it under, seated or standing. You pick. Keeping the abs pulled in. Get ready to switch directions. Here it comes. And go. Then our halo, one more time, right here. Course pulled in. A big circle around your head. And the other direction. chops here. Coming up and down. One side at a time. Really keeping your core engaged. Almost there. And the other side. You ready? Right here to here. Almost done, then we get a little stretch. It's always the best part, I think. And rest. Very nice. That's it. Put your ball away. Ooh. We'll start stretching. Let's pull one arm across our chest. Just kind of give it a little hug, pull it in towards you. And then we'll switch to the other side. Then take your arms behind your back, pull one elbow up, and then just let your head fall over towards it. Some nice deep breaths, big full exhales, and the other side. Just letting your neck hang. And then take your hands to your knees, let your head fall over. We're just gonna do a few little half circles. So really stretching the neck, keeping all our little vertebrae working here. Good. And then from the side, we're gonna do a little cat-cow, so letting your back come kind of round and then pulling your chest through, pulling the shoulders back. Just getting a full range of motion, holding onto the knees for support. Just really stretching our backs here. And rest. Then we've got our tricep stretch, so throwing our arm up and just kind of putting your hand right as close to the center of your back as you can. Grab that elbow, give it a little pull. Lost my ball. I really missed that. Do you remember like one person would drop their ball and then like, you know, like a contagious yawn, they would just start dropping everywhere. There would be chaos. You remember. Good. Then go ahead and take one foot out in front. You're just gonna set your heel down. Pull your toes up, getting that leg nice and straight. And we're just tipping from the hip. I'm sorry, I had kind of an uncomfortable bun. It's a little too tight in some spots. TMI. And then lean forward, stretching that hamstring. So you wanna feel it on the back of your leg. So you gotta really get that tension. Tip forward, then you can reach out and grab it if you want, or your hand is here, just tipping forward till you feel it in the back of your leg, and then the other side. Leaning into it, really feeling that hamstring stretch. Nice, slow, controlled breathing. That slow breathing is kind of a good way to send a message to your body that like, it's okay, relax, let go of the stress. Kind of doing that shallow breathing. It's kind of like that breathing you do when you're scared. So your brain's like, what's going on? So we just want to send it the message that everything's fine. Kick one leg up and over. So I'm setting my ankle right above my knee and then letting this knee fall open. So we're working on that external rotation, okay? If that feels like too much, bring your leg down so you don't have to get it up as high. might be kind of right here to start, and then just, slowly letting that kind of stretch out, get to the point where you can easily kind of do that stretch. And the other side. Finding that external rotation. If you get here to where your external rotation is good, and you're not really feeling much of a stretch in your hips and glutes anymore, you can lean into it and whoo, you feel it more. It kind of comes back with a vengeance then if you lean into it. Very nice. Then we're gonna come to the side of our chair and bring one leg back. So what we're looking for is a stretch in the hip flexor of the leg that's back. So right there. To feel it a little deeper, you lean back into it. And then we're gonna turn towards the chair back, looking over shoulder, just getting a little stretch, a little twist for the spine. And then coming back to forward, reaching up and over, drawing the elbow back, reaching up, drawing it back. A few more of these. And then the other side. First finding the stretch for that hip flexor, kind of leaning back into it to feel it a little deeper. Then twisting towards the chair back, bringing out the spine. And then reaching up and over, drawing the elbow back. Back to forward, open your chest, roll your thumbs back so you're stretching your chest, your biceps here. And then reach around, grab your shoulder blades, give yourself a big hug. Pulling the shoulder blades apart, kind of rocking back and forth into it. And then we're gonna take 3 nice big deep breaths as a group. Then you can kind of put on your quiet music. We'll just have a few minutes of quiet relaxation shared together. And then we're done. So big, deep, full breath up, filling the lungs, and then blow it out. Again, nice, big, deep, full breath up, hold for just a moment, and then blow it out. One more, last one. Biggest, deepest, fullest breath of the day, holding it for just a moment. Couple more sips of air at the top, and then let it go. And then just go ahead and find a nice, comfortable seated position. You can lay on the floor, you can just sit here. And we're just gonna spend a few minutes kind of just sharing some time of peace and relaxation together. I'm gonna highly recommend that during this time, maybe just take 15 minutes that you kind of set aside specifically to meditate or relax. I know we have all of this like free time, but we're usually doing something, or our mind is just kind of agitated, maybe we're feeling some anxiety. But take that 15 minutes and just spend it focusing on your gratitude, just like we always do at the end of class. Just kind of thinking of all the good things we have, just looking at kind of the bright side of it, and just trying to use as much compassion as we can for ourselves. We're not gonna give ourselves unrealistic goals during this time. This is kind of a time to reset and regroup, but everyone's gonna need a little bit more kindness and a little bit more compassion. So we just have to really strive to see, kind of take the time to see how we're going to integrate that back into our new normal. Because to have gone through all of this and come out of it exactly the same, I don't think that's for the best. I think we want to come out of it and find a new normal that kind of is better, right? Like ideally, that would be fantastic. So, just taking that time to think about the things that you're grateful for, the things that you still have, and then think about how you want life to feel moving forward, Let's take one more nice, big, deep breath together as a group. I'm so grateful that I get to be here with you, even in this small way. It helps me more than you'll ever know to kind of keep my teaching muscles strong and feel like I still get to feel connected to the people that I love and care about through class. So let's take one more breath. Inhale up, filling your lungs, and then blow it all the way out. I will see you in a week for Silver Sneakers. And Thursday night, 5:30, I teach a 30-minute strength class. So that's not necessarily geared towards 65 and over, but it definitely doesn't exclude people 65 and over. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Or if you know someone else who might be interested in it, tell them. Please always comment on the video, even if it's later. I just like to know that you've watched and that we've been together in that way. So I will see you guys next time.